So in this video, we are going to discuss about star to delta transformation and delta to star transformation. We know that the voltage division rule, current division rule, etc. will help us in solving electric circuits sometimes, right? Similarly, star delta delta star transformation is one such technique which helps us in solving electric circuits at a much higher speed. So today we are going to discuss that in this lecture. Let's get to the details. Star delta delta star transformation. Star delta and delta to star transformations. Okay. Suppose you have three impedances. Okay, these are the three impedances, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have three impedances with us: ZA, ZB, and ZC. Okay, let me mark the terminals as A dash, B dash, and C dash. Okay. Now, how can we connect these three impedances? They can be done in two ways. Either you join A, B, and C to form a node, or you join point A dash, B dash, and C dash to form a node. Okay, and the resultant network is what is called a star configuration or a T configuration. Okay, what do you mean by that? By this, I mean something like this. So here is ZA, this is ZB, and here we have ZC. Okay, ZA, ZB, and ZC. So this is point, I will call it as point 1, because we know impedances are bilateral elements, right? That means the properties remain the same. Okay, so whether this is at AB or is at BA, it is one and the same. Okay, it's not going to differ. Similarly, this is point 2 and this is point 3, or I call this as point A because I have connected points A dash, B dash, and C dash together. So this is point A, this is point B, and this is point C. So this is what is called a star connection. Okay, if you stretch out the two legs at an angle, then it becomes a T, to the shape of a T, the English alphabet T. Okay, that is why it is called. It is also called a star or a T connection. T connection. Okay, both ways it is a star or a T connection. Now, what is the alternate way of joining these impedances? Is there any other way? Yes, these impedances can be connected in such a way that points A dash to B, B dash to C, and C dash to A are joined to in a loop form. Right? What do you mean by loop? Loop means a closed path. Okay. So by that statement I mean I can connect impedances like this in a closed form. Okay. So here again I have the same 1.1, 2, 3, or I can write A, B, and C. So between A and B, I get what is called ZAB. Okay, between B and C, ZBC, and between C and A, I have ZC. Okay, that is what is shown here. Okay, so in a Y or a T configuration, you have a common point or a common node, we can say. Okay, this is the common node. Fine. And in a delta, we have a closed path, right? Like this. If you stretch out the two legs at one, if you stretch it out, then you will get the shape of a pi, inverted pi kind of thing. Okay. So delta is also called a pi configuration or a pi connection, right? Now you see here that you can think of as if these are the terminals of a triangle. Triangle has three vertices, right? 1, 2, and 3. Similarly, that's another triangle 1, 2, and 3. Right? Now, these two networks are said to be equivalent if the impedance at any pair of terminals of one network is equal to the impedance at the corresponding pair of terminals in the other network. What do I mean by that? It means that if the impedances as seen between 1 and 2 in star, okay, if the impedances seen between terminals 1 and 2 in star are equal to the impedances seen between terminals 1 and 2 in delta, right? Delta. Impedances between 2 and 3 in star and delta are same. And if impedances seen between terminals 3 and 1 in star is equal to the impedance seen between terminals 1 and 3 in delta, then they are equivalent. Okay? Or in other words, it means that I can find what is the equivalent impedance here between points 1 and 3. So this will correspond to my ZCA. Okay. Similarly, I can find what is the equivalent impedance between points 1 and 2, and that corresponds to ZAB. Likewise, between terminals 2 and 3, that correspond to the impedance ZBC in delta, or vice versa. So this can be transformed into a corresponding star of this kind. Okay, so this, if you can transform this delta into equivalent star, then this corresponds to ZA, this impedance corresponds to ZB, and this corresponds to ZC. Okay, so this condition exists only if the impedances seen from the respective terminals in both star and delta are equal. Okay, if that's the condition, then we can transform star to delta or delta to star. Am I clear? Coming down. Yeah. So what is the impedance seen between points 1 and 2 in star, between 1 and 2? In star, what do you get? Between 1 and 2, how will you find the equivalent impedance seen between 1 and 2? Equivalent impedance is offered only to the flow of a current. Okay. So to find the equivalent impedance between 1 and 2, you assume that a current is flowing at terminal 1 and is leaving at terminal 2. Okay. So what will be the effective impedance? It will be ZA plus ZB. Right? Current will be flowing from terminal 1. It will leave from terminal 2. Current flowing to ZC is 0. Why? Because it is open, and current can always flow only in a closed path. Okay, current can always flow in a closed path. So if you connect a voltage source or a current between points 1 and 2, it will flow through only ZA and ZB. That means between 1 and 2 in the Y connection, your equivalent impedance is ZA plus ZB. Okay. Now, what will be the impedance between the same pair of terminals in delta connection? So assume that a current is entering here, right? You are taking a return path here. What happens? Current will reach here, then it will split into two. One will flow through ZAB, and the other will flow through ZCA plus ZBC. Means what? ZAB and ZCA plus ZBC are in parallel. Okay, they are in parallel. So in delta, I can write like this: ZAB parallel to ZBC plus ZCA. Okay, or if you simplify this further, you will get ZA plus ZB will be what? ZAB into ZBC plus ZCA divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA. Okay. Similarly, between 2 and 3, what will be the equivalent impedance here? ZB plus ZC. And what will be the equivalent impedance as seen from terminals 2 and 3 in delta? Assume current is entering at point 2 and leaving at point 3. Then what happens? It will split into two. One will flow through ZBC, the other will flow through ZAB plus ZCA. Means what? ZBC and ZAB plus ZCA are in parallel. Okay. So straight away we can write it will be ZBC into ZAB plus ZCA divided by ZA plus ZAB plus ZBC plus ZC. Okay. Likewise, from terminals 3 and 1, what is equivalent impedance seen? It is ZC plus ZA. And from here you will see that ZCA will be in parallel to ZAB plus ZB. So I can write like this: ZCA into ZAB plus ZBC divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA. Okay. So this is how these equations establish the equivalence between star and delta. Okay, that is what's written here. Okay, so ZAB between points 1 and 2 in delta and star will be like this. ZA plus ZB equal to this. Equation between 2 and 3 will be given by equation 2. Between 3 and 1, it is given by equation 3. Now, suppose you are given a delta branch, delta network, right? We can transform that into star, right? So it means that ZAB, ZBC, and ZCA are known, right? ZA, ZB, and ZC are unknown. Okay, these are the star branches which are to be found. Okay, so ZA, ZB, and ZC are unknown. They have to be found in terms of ZAB, ZBC, and ZC. How to do that? Okay, so we had already seen these equations 1, 2, and 3. I have written that here. Okay, now what we have to do is you simply add this 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, you add the corresponding left hand sides and the corresponding right hand sides. Okay, so when you add, what will you get? On the left hand side, you will get 2 times these terms. Okay, so here you will get ZAB, ZBC plus ZAB, ZCA. Similarly, here it will be ZBC, ZCA plus ZAB, ZBC. So when you add all these things, there will be 2 times the product terms. Okay, so twice the terms will be appearing here on the left hand side. Similarly, on the right hand side, when you are adding all these 1, 2, and 3, you will get ZA plus ZA, 2 ZA plus 2 ZB plus 2 ZC, which means 2 will be a common factor that can be cancelled. Okay, so when you do that, you will get an equation of this kind. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to subtract this equation 2 from equation 4. Okay, so on the left hand side, what will you get? ZB plus ZCA will be subtracted. You are left out with what is ZA. So ZA will be ZAB into ZCA divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA. Fine. So how will you find ZB? From this equation 4, you subtract equation 3. Okay, because equation 4 left hand side is A plus B plus C, from which you are subtracting A and C. So you are left out with ZB. So ZB will be ZBC, ZAB divided by sum of the delta branch impedances. It is easy to remember. That's a technique to remember. So our aim is to find what is ZA. Okay. So the starting suffix and the ending suffix must be the same. Fine. Keep in mind what were the delta branches in order: ZAB, ZBC, and ZC. Okay. So if you keep that fixed, then it is very easy to find the corresponding delta arms. The starting values, the starting suffix and the ending suffix must be the same as the star arm which you have to find. So ZA will be ZAB into ZCA divided by sum of delta branch impedances. What will be ZB? ZB will be ZBC into ZAB. Starting suffix and ending suffix must be the same. So ZBC into ZAB whole divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA. What will be ZC? ZCA into ZBC divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZC. Okay. So in this way, you can transform the given delta into equivalent star. Okay. So now we know what is ZA. What is ZA? Product of the two impedances connected to that particular vertex or node. Okay. So ZAB into ZCA divided by sum of delta branch impedances. What will be ZB? Product of the two corresponding delta arms. ZBC into ZCA divided by sorry, ZBC into ZAB divided by sum of delta arms. What will be ZC? ZCA into ZBC divided by sum of the delta branch impedances. Okay, so in this way you can convert a delta into its equivalent star connection. Fine. Now the reverse thing, vice versa thing. You know the star branches. We have to find what is the delta arms. Okay, so ZA, ZB, and ZC are known to us, whereas we have to find what is ZAB, what is ZBC, and what is ZC. Okay. So again, we'll begin with the where we left out. Okay. So this is ZA, this is ZB, this is ZC. So I will call this as 5, 6, and 7 as I have written here. Okay. 5, 6, and 7. Now what we have to do? You multiply with 5 and 6. Multiply between 5 and 6, 6 and 7, and 7 and 5, and add it up. Okay. You multiply between 5 and 6, 6 and 7, and 7 and 5, and take the sum. Okay. Then what happens? You will get something like this. So here you will get ZA, ZB plus ZB, ZC plus ZC, ZA on the left hand side. And on the right hand side, what happens? You are multiplying. Okay. So see here, ZAB square, ZBC, ZC. If you multiply these two, you will get ZBC, ZAB into ZBC square, ZCA. Similarly, if you multiply these two, you will get ZAB, ZBC into ZCA square. Okay. So from which, and the denominator you will have a square term, ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA whole square. Okay. So that means from here I can take ZAB, ZBC, and ZCA out common. Okay. If you take that, you will get an expression of like this kind, right? So one term in the numerator and the one term in the denominator gets cancelled. Okay, leading to this equation: ZA, ZB plus ZB, ZC plus blah blah blah. So this is equation 8. Now what you have to do? You have to divide equation 8 with equation 7. Okay, when you divide equation 8 with equation 7, left hand side what will you get? Equation 7 left hand side is ZC. Okay, so here when you divide with ZC, what will you get? You will get ZA plus ZB plus ZA into ZB divided by ZC will be what? ZA. Okay, so similarly, what will be? So it is easy to remember. So if you want to find ZAB, how will you find? You see the sum of the suffixes, sum of the impedance sharing suffixes of the corresponding delta arm. ZA plus ZB plus product of the two, ZA into ZB divided by the third impedance. What will be ZBC? ZB plus ZC plus product of the two, ZB into ZC divided by ZA. Similarly, what will be ZCA? It will be nothing but ZC plus ZA plus ZC into ZA divided by the third branch, ZB. Okay. So in this way, one can convert star to delta and delta to star. Okay. Let us take one numerical example. Convert the delta into equivalent star. Convert the delta into equivalent star. So you are given a circuit of this kind. This is 2 plus J3 ohms. This is 3 minus J2. And here we have 2 plus J16 ohms. Okay. So we have to convert this delta into Y. Can you visualize that this is a delta? Because you see, even though these two arms are stretched apart, these two are the same potential. Okay, because there is no element in between. So that means this point and this point are the same potential. Okay, so now we have to convert that into equivalent delta, the equivalent star. Okay, that means something like this. Okay, so what is this? What is this? What is this? So let me mark this A, B, and this entire thing is C. Okay, so how will you find ZA? How will you find ZA? Starting suffix and ending suffix must be the same. So ZAB into ZCA divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA. We know what are the values of ZAB, ZCA. What is ZAB? Between A and B, we have 2 plus J3 ohms. Then between B and C, we have 2 plus J16 ohms. And between C and A, we have 3 minus J2 ohms. Okay, you can just substitute and find. If you solve this, you will get your ZA as 0.499 minus J0.5 ohms. 0.5 ohms. Okay, 0.499 minus J0.5 ohms. Right? Similarly, what will be ZB? ZB starting suffix BC into ending suffix AB divided by ZAB plus BC plus CA. Okay, substitute these values and you should get a value of 1 plus J3 ohms. Fine. Similarly, what will be your ZCA? Your ZCA will ZC will be starting suffix ZCA into ending suffix ZBC divided by ZAB plus ZBC plus ZCA. Right? If you substitute and solve, you should get a value 3 minus J1 ohms. Okay, so this star equivalent which we had found is equivalent to the outer delta loop. Okay, fine. So this is how to convert a delta into star. One example we have considered. Fine. Let us take one more problem. Okay, where I will show you where it comes in practical cases. Right. Question. This is the question. Find the current supplied by 100 volt. Find the current supplied by 100 volt source. Find the current supplied by 100 volt source. Okay. So here is our 100 volt. There's a resistance 5 ohms. Here we have 4 ohms. Then another 1 ohm. 9 ohms. Another 4 ohms. Another 5 ohm. 6 ohms. 3 ohms. 2. Okay, we have to find the current supplied by the 100 volt source, right? So what happens? How will you solve this? Assume current is flowing from here. Then what happens? It will come here. One, it will go like this. It will go like this. So are they in series or parallel? They are neither in series nor in parallel. Okay. So if you want to find the current supplied by this 100 volt source, what we have to do? We have to first find what is the equivalent impedance. Okay. What is the effective impedance as seen by the voltage source, right? Now, can you tell me something about this given network? Are there any series or parallel elements? No, it is. They are not there. Okay, so that means we have to go for star transformation, either star to delta or delta to star. Okay, so how will we do this? So what we can do is that you can first think of converting this into equivalent star. Okay, now what happens? This branch will leave. Okay. Like this becomes. Okay, so we are seeing how to convert the delta into star, right? If you know delta arms, how will you find the star arm? Star arm ZA will be nothing but what? ZAB into ZCA divided by sum of delta branch impedances. So you can find what will be the equivalent star branches here. Okay, now you see these two are in series. So some sort of simplification has happened here, right? Now what next? These two are in series. What next? So I will just draw one impedance for simplification. Okay, we have to solve each resistance. In each step you have to do. Okay, just for convenience, I will rub here and I will show you what is happening. So since these two are in series, I can just join it. Okay, now what happens? This is a delta, right? It's a closed path. So that means what? So you can have one branch here, right? Then one here and one here. Okay. So that means this 5 ohm will vanish, 3 ohm will vanish, and this impedance will also vanish. Okay. We have done this thing. This impedance will disappear. Okay. So in the next step, what happens? In the next step, this will go, right? This will also go. Then this also will go. Okay. So that means now what happens? You will get this branch and this branch in series. So somewhat more simplification has happened. And this in series. Okay. So now this is one single branch. One single branch here. Okay. So in that way you can keep on solving, right? So if you solve eventually, keep on solving eventually, you will get an effective impedance of 7 point, you can cross verify that. R equivalent will be 7.2884 ohms. Okay, so how will you find the current supplied by 100 volt source? Current supplied will be 100 divided by 7.2884, and that will be around 13.7203 ampere. Okay, so in this way, star to delta and delta to star transformations are pretty useful in circuit analysis. Okay, so I would urge you all that you should try some more extra questions at home and get back to me if you have any doubts or any issues. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.